Hi Aquarius, this is Tisch Aitken, and this is your monthly report for the month of March 2022. Although we are in the new age of Aquarius, it has felt like a trip down memory lane to the epic of Capricorn, and in a lot of ways it has been as we've begun the year. To begin with, Venus, which is the planet of love, money, and what you value, retrograded on December 19th at 26 degrees and 29 minutes of the cardinal earth sign of Capricorn in your house of endings, spirituality, and the subconscious mind. And it met up with Pluto, the planet of death and rebirth, on December 11th, December 25th, and they will meet up a third and final time on March 3rd. And that has entailed a lot of loss, a lot of letting go of what no longer serves you, and unfortunately a lot of loss on the collective level. And it is also setting off for Pluto, the planet of death and regeneration, retrograded at the end of April in your house of endings. There's been a very serious tone with this, and then you add to it that Mercury originally retrograded in your sign. That's the planet of communication and information. It got as far as 10 degrees and 20 minutes of Aquarius, and it retrograded on January 14th. It re-entered Capricorn on January 24th, and it's stationed direct in your house of endings and the subconscious mind on February 3rd at 24 degrees and 22 minutes of the cardinal earth sign of Capricorn. Now this set off where Saturn and Pluto met up at the world point at 22 degrees of Capricorn on January 12th of 2020. And that was the conjunction that brought down the structures of our world, permanent change. Now in the new age of Aquarius, it's a time of invention and ingenuity and futuristic thinking, as well as community. But for all of us, we've been reconsidering and reevaluating the past few years. When Venus retrograded, it got to where Saturn reached on March 12th of 2020, right before Saturn briefly entered your sign of Aquarius on March 23rd until July 1st of 2020. And then Saturn and Jupiter met up in your sign at the very first degree on December 20th of 2020. And that ushered in the new age of Aquarius. But there's been a real reflective tone as to what you were able to do in the epoch of Capricorn, particularly the height of 2020 when we really got into lockdown and all of these issues with COVID, and reassessing what you can do going forward, maybe decisions you were not able to make during that time. So we begin the month and Venus and Mars are setting off where Venus retrograded on December 19th. They're transiting at 26 degrees of Capricorn in your house of spirituality. So they're about to clear, Venus is about to clear its shadow. Pluto, the planet of death and transformation, is also transiting in Capricorn. Mars is in its dignity. There are 3 planets transiting in your sign. Juno, which is an asteroid of partnering, Mercury, which is brilliant and exalted in your sign, and Saturn, the ancient ruler of your sign, the planet of karma and responsibility, in your house of self and new beginnings. And there are 3 points transiting in the mutable water sign of Pisces in your house of income and what you value. The sun, which is the light of the chart, ego and identity. Jupiter, the grand benefic, the planet of abundance and expansion. And Neptune, the planet of dreams and spirituality, are all transiting in your house of money and what you value. So the sun forms a helpful sextile to Uranus on March 1st at 9:05 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and on March 2nd at 12:05 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's an innovative and creative energy for you. On March 2nd, Mercury meets up with Saturn at 11:33 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. That could bring challenges and restrictions. It's a good time of figuring out what is not working and letting it go and committing further to what is working. And it is in your house of endings. Then there is a new moon that takes place at 12:35 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at 12 degrees and 7 minutes of the mutable water sign of Pisces in your house of money and what you value. And the new moon is always a time of planting new seeds and setting intentions, doing the law of abundance. And this new moon is conjunct Jupiter, the luckiest planet, only within 2 degrees. So it's a very auspicious new moon in your house of creativity and what you value. So really honoring that energy. On March 3rd, there's a very heavy intensity to the day. Mars meets up with Pluto at 3:43 a.m. Eastern Standard Time in your house of endings and dreams. And that can be very combative energy. Maybe you are letting go of things that are blocking you. Then Venus meets up with Pluto a third and final time at 12:56 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Could definitely bring breakups and endings, again, of what is not serving you to transcend and transform what you do love, and honoring the loss that we've all been dealing with on the collective. On March 5th, there is a lot of good energy in the sky. The Sun and Jupiter meet up at 9:06 a.m. Eastern Standard Time in your house of money and income and creativity. That could bring new opportunities and optimism. And then Mars and Venus both change signs and enter your sign, which is very exciting. Mars enters your sign at 10:23 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and on March 6th at 1:23 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Venus, the planet of love and value and partnerships and money, enters your sign at 10:30 Pacific Standard Time, and on March 6th at 1:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, the two cosmic lovers meet up at 11:12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time and at 2:12 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on March 6th at the very first degree of Aquarius, setting off the Saturn-Jupiter pairing that took place on the winter solstice at the very first degree of Aquarius. New beginnings. What do you want to initiate in your life? It's in your house of self. It's in your house of new beginnings, whether it's a new relationship, whether it's love, money, passion. These are the two cosmic lovers. So this is a beautiful dance they've been doing since the end of January. They started dancing together on January 30th. They will be doing so until April 5th. Mars transits in your sign until April 14th. That's a new 2-year cycle of what you want to accomplish, what you want to achieve. Venus transits in your sign until April 5th, bringing you love and luck and blessings. So this is really nice energy. Also triggering the Saturn-Jupiter conjunction, the vision you want to construct in your life. On March 9th, Mercury changes signs and enters the mutable water sign of Pisces at 8:32 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where it will be until March 27th, transiting in your house of money and income, and a lot of focus in that area of your life. And then let's see. And then on March 13th, the Sun and Neptune meet up in the sky at 7:43 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. That could bring confusion with financial partnerships. It could be creative, but be a little wary with that energy. On March 17th, Mercury forms a helpful aspect to Uranus, which is the ruler of your sign, the planet of ingenuity, and that takes place at 8:13 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, good for focusing on financial opportunities and solutions. On March 18th, there's a full moon that takes place at 3:18 a.m. Eastern Standard Time at 27 degrees and 40 minutes of the mutable earth sign of Virgo in your house of healing and transformation, joint resources, and money. And so this full moon might bring light to some healing or some painful issues that have been challenging for you, or maybe financial issues like debt or taxes or things you need to bring resolution to. But on the day of the full moon, there's really nice energy. Venus forms a helpful aspect to Chiron, the wounded healer, and that takes place at 12:24 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, good for healing around love and your perspective on it. And then the sun forms a helpful aspect to Pluto, the planet of transformation, 3:57 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, a very empowering energy in this full moon, letting go of the pain that is keeping you from thriving. On March 19th, Venus, the planet of love and money, which is transiting in your sign, squares Uranus, the planet of surprise and the unexpected, at 7:16 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. That could bring twists and turns, unexpected financial or other situations with family. Could be a bit chaotic, could be creative. You know, whatever you think it is, it'll be something else. On March 20th, that is one of 2 days that the sun is exactly above the equator, equal day and equal night. In the northern hemisphere, it is the beginning of the spring equinox, and in the southern hemisphere, it is the beginning of the fall equinox. The sun enters the cardinal fire sign of Aries at 11:33 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, where it will transit until April 19th in your house of communication, thoughts, ideas, and local community. In the northern hemisphere, the spring equinox is a time of renewal, fertility, and new beginnings. And in the southern hemisphere, the fall equinox is a time of letting go. The leaves are falling, honoring the transition to the rituals of death and release, which is a ritual of life. And honor the season that you're embarking in and what the season has in store. Mercury and Jupiter meet up in the sky at 9:06 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, bringing a very positive energy to this new season. And do a ritual to honor the new beginnings. On March 22nd, Mars squares Uranus at 4:44 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Lay low. That could be combative energy with family, or just unexpected turbulence and chaos and explosiveness. On March 23rd, Mercury meets up with Neptune at 1:44 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Could be confusion or deception with financial situations. On March 23rd. On March 26th, Mercury forms a helpful aspect to Pluto, and that occurs at 6:35 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Good for focusing on your finances and up-leveling that area. On March 27th, Mercury changes signs and enters the cardinal fire sign of Aries at 3:44 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, where it will transit until April 10th in your house of communication, learning, and local community. Good for networking and marketing yourself. On March 28th, Neptune forms a helpful sextile to the North Node of Fate at 9:13 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That could bring very fated and spiritual encounters and opportunities. I wish you a lot of luck. It is your time to thrive. It's been challenging with Venus and Mercury retrograde in Capricorn, even though Mercury did initially retrograde in your sign, reevaluating the new age of Aquarius, which we have another year of. So good luck, Aquarius. It is your time. Thank you. And use the magic of Venus and Mars. We've got it until April 5th. So 2 months in total, and that brings a lot of creativity to the cosmos, which is needed. Thank you.